Citric acid is one of the best home remedies with an incredible number of possible applications. In this video I will show you 8 possible uses for citric acid that hardly anyone knows but everyone should. Let's start with number 1. You probably know this problem too. A lot of limescale has formed in your kettle, on the bottom and also on the side. You can see it very well in my glass kettle. And citric acid has an incredibly good effect against limescale. Put enough water in the kettle so that all the limescale is underwater. Now add 40 to 50 grams of citric acid and that's it. All you have to do now is wait. Leave it like this for about an hour. You will soon see that all the lime dissolves here in the kettle. At the end you rinse it again and it looks like this. The limescale is completely gone and the kettle doesn't smell like if you used vinegar on it. This brings us directly to trick number 2. You can also use citric acid in your washing machine. I'll explain what it does in a moment. To do this, you should now pour about 50 grams of citric acid directly into the drum of your washing machine. It is important that you do not put any clothes into the drum. Now close the door and switch on the washing machine. The temperature should not be set higher than 40 degrees Celsius, otherwise calcium citrate will form and clog the pipes. Now let the washing machine run for a while. When it has been running for about 50 minutes, it is best to pause it. If you have the option, press pause. Now let it soak for 30 minutes. This will allow the citric acid to work on all the pipes of your washing machine. Then you start it again and open it normally at the end. You have decalcified the washing machine. And increased its lifespan. By the way, you can also get citric acid from my shop. You will find the link to the shop below in the video description. But let's move on to trick number 3. You can also use citric acid in the toilet. To do this you should first flush so that there is moisture everywhere on the toilet wall. Now put about 50 grams of citric acid in the toilet. Sprinkle it in so that some of it really sticks everywhere. Now we need one more ingredient and that is baking soda, because both in combination have an unbelievable effect, as you can see in a moment. Now add the baking soda to the toilet. Again it should be about 50 grams. As you can see, there is an immediate reaction. The combination of baking soda and citric acid helps, especially with urine scale and limescale. Leave it on for 30 minutes and then wipe the entire toilet again with the toilet brush. After you have wiped everywhere, you only have to flush again and your toilet is clean again. And it's all thanks to a little citric acid in combination with baking soda. You can really use this whenever the toilet is dirty again. Our next trick is also about the toilet. Because what many people forget is the cistern. If you have a normal cistern on your toilet, you only have to take off the lid. If you have such a built-in cistern, you first have to push up the lever plate and remove it. Then push these 2 levers inwards so that you can remove the next plate. Now you will find another plate. This one has little things on the top that you can push in and then pull out. If it works a bit differently for you, take a close look at how you deassembled it so that you can reassemble it later. Now I take the plate off by pressing this little button here and pulling the whole thing out. And now I have access to my cistern. Now I take a liter of water and add 100 grams of citric acid. Stir everything well again, and now we want to pull up the flush once until all the water is out of the cistern. Then it will automatically start to fill up again. Now you should quickly dump the liter of citric acid water in with it. Leave it in your cistern for 2 to 3 hours. This will remove all the limescale. Then rinse again, reassemble everything and the cistern is decalcified. Your tile grout no longer looks good. Thanks to citric acid, that's over now. As you can see in my case, they are already very gray. I put a little citric acid in a small bowl and add a small amount of water. That is already enough. Now stir the whole thing well. It's best to use an old toothbrush because it's perfect for cleaning the grout. Now rub this mixture into all your grout. Leave it to work for about 10 minutes. Then scrub again with the toothbrush, and as you can see here, you only have to wipe a few times and all the dirt disappears from your grout and ends up in the toothbrush. Rinse it in between to get rid of the dirt here. And when you've wiped through all your grout, you should then grab a damp cloth and wipe away the rest. It's best to wipe the floor completely once. And then you can already see the incredible result. Take a look at what the joints look like on my floor. They have become really bright again. Here you can see a before and after comparison of how they looked before. You can see a clear difference. If you also want to clean your grout, try using a little citric acid. That brings us to trick number 5. Even in our drains, more and more dirt ends up. At some point, this means that it may no longer drain properly. A mixture of salt and citric acid can help. Put about 3 to 4 teaspoons of salt directly into your drain. Then add citric acid. You should use about the same amount. Now dump the two together down the drain and let it sit for about 30 minutes. Now rinse thoroughly with cold water. Let it run for about 2 minutes. This way you will get the drain free again. All dirt and also rust will be removed from your drain by this combination. And you will also get rid of bad smells that often form in the drain. You can repeat this procedure every few weeks so that your drain is always free of limescale and no longer stinks. But maybe your sink is also very dirty like mine is here. And you can also solve this wonderfully with citric acid without having to do a lot of scrubbing. Take a small bowl and put about 3 tablespoons of citric acid in it. Now you also need some water again. A small amount is enough. We want the mixture of citric acid and water to form a kind of paste. So stir everything well. When it looks like this, you can start to apply it. Now take a sponge and spread this mixture all over your sink. You only have to apply it for now, because we want to let it work in a little in the next step. Here's a little extra tip, because if you don't want the citric acid to run right back down here, you can use some foil for that. I have clinch film now and I tear it into pieces. That's how I lay it out in my sink now and press it well all over, because that way you can actually increase the cleaning power a little bit more. Now let it soak in for about an hour. When the time is up, you can remove the foil again. Now grab the sponge again and give it a good wipe. But as you can already see, all kind of limescale and deposits have been removed. Now all you have to do is rinse everything well, and afterwards your sink will shine like new again, and you have cleaned it really well thanks to a little citric acid. Have you also taken a closer look at your shower head? There is usually a lot of limescale on it. In the worst case, this can cause the water to no longer come out properly or to splash into all the corners. A little citric acid and a little ingenious trick will do the trick. To do this, put citric acid in a bowl with a little water. Stir it well and now grab an ordinary paper towel. All you need is this one paper towel, which you now soak in the mixture so that it is really soaked. Now place it on your shower head and make sure that the towel is really tight all over. You can also pour some of the citric acid water mixture over it. This way you make sure that some of it really gets everywhere. Now you have to wait. Put it aside and let it work for a few hours. When the time is up, remove the cloth, wipe it again with a cloth and rinse it well. And afterwards you can see that all the limescale has disappeared from the surface of your shower head. If you would like to learn more about 8 ingenious ways to use baking soda, then be sure to watch the video that I have linked to you here.